Hi. We have been gone for a long time. We were doing this. It was funny because I swear we started, we were like, we're going to do our own like streams. We're going to do our own Death and Angel show. We did it for like 3 weeks and then we took off. We no longer did it. Like that was the end of it. Um, it was like 2 months passed and then we're finally back here. So, but we are back now. So,
Hi,
Angel, how are you doing right now?
I'm doing all right. It's been a month or few months. It's been a lot, but we're getting by, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah. I totally relate to that. It's um, I have the bipolar symbol in my nickname. I put it back there. I think the first time that we streamed when I was like not feeling great, and I just kind of keep it there now. The last couple of months, normally when I spiral in depression, my depression lasts like a day, and then when I wake up the next day, I'm okay, or it'll last like a few days, and then things get better. Either I go for walks, or just something will get me over it, or sometimes I even just forget about it. Like it's forgotten. Everything's fine. Whatever. Who cares? Um, that was not the case. Since July 13th, I wrote it down. So I'm trying to track how my days go now. Since July 13th, I have been spiraling on and off. It's been about 2.5 months now, which has been super fun. Um, we finally came up with a solution to our problem. Most of my problem is that we live in a house here that really hasn't been worked on in the last like 10 plus years. Um, it's gotten in really bad shape. There are literal holes all over it. The walls are falling apart. There's a pool in the backyard that's just full of like literal tadpoles and like random growing stuff. Like the backyard until 2 days ago, until yesterday actually, was full of literal trees just sprouted up, never taken care of or put back.
Yeah, it looked like a jungle.
Yeah. Yeah, I joked that if I were to take a picture back there and send it to people, they would literally think that I was in the middle of a jungle because like it was so bad.
And
But
our family all went out there and we cleared the whole thing in a day. So we
yeah.
thought that was going to take us a lot
Hey Zoe.
longer. So we're psyched that we got it done as quickly as we did.
Yeah,
Hi,
that was
Zoe.
super nice. We were all blown away by how nicely that got done. Um, and it was funny because Angel's dad had a like a small, probably like this big, like chainsaw, just like a hand chainsaw that would like work for all of like 10 minutes, and then the battery would die on it. And I had a super rusty hacksaw that like the blade on it, like like normal blade, would bend back and forth every time I went to use it. And then the axe was so dull that like I could have hit my hand on it and did nothing whatsoever. Like would not have felt
I
it.
can't believe you even chopped through things. That was just sheer will.
Yeah, it was. I was literally, I was showing Angel. I was like, yeah, you just take the hack, you go back, you stick it over your head, you just slam down. Like I even jumped a couple times to like
And I was
really.
like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, I'm older than you.
Yeah, we worked back there
That will
for
kill me.
we worked back there for like 6.5 hours, and that included babysitting Angel's brother because he can make a 5 minute task turn into 3 hours, and it's just,
It
I,
is what it is with him.
yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. So we've decided, we agreed with, we made an agreement with Angel's parents that we would be working 40 hours a week on the house, and they would pay for our phone bill, well, Angel's phone bill, and our groceries. They'd be paying $150 a week for 40 hours of work, and whatever we did not spend for groceries would be saved for stuff we need for the house. Like we need the two at first things. Angel needs a new chair, and I really want to get an exterminator out here super bad because like we have bugs all over the place. There's spiders everywhere. I
Well,
cannot
like,
get rid of them.
it's
Like
not roaches or anything.
yeah, there's no roaches.
Clear.
Just
Like
yeah,
we have crickets all up in our yard. Like there's like
yeah,
so many crickets, and then we have these earwigs that are keep trying to get in our house. Like, but they're mainly out around our yard. So it'd
yeah.
just
Oh
be
my
nice to
goodness,
get some perimeter exterminations happening.
it will.
And then yeah, spiders in the basement. Blech.
Yeah, and then we need. Well, they're replacing the heater. That's why we've been working for the last month and a half now. Yes, Zoe, earwigs are so gross looking. I
They're
agree with you.
creepy.
They're like nightmare creatures. Um, every year we get like a gnat infestation. The angel has to put a bunch of like bottles up to catch them with and stuff, and then like We had flies quite a bit this time too. There's wasps all over the place, like just nests everywhere, like including right out in front of our front door. So if
Yeah,
we,
they just apparently like to flock at our house.
yeah, so it's like if we go out of the house between like 12 and 3, they're just all over there. And yeah, Zoe is right. Why do they do these gross butt pinchers for? And why are they called earwigs? Yeah, when I was a kid, I was told that they go in your ears, and it's like has freaked me out ever since then. Which obviously they don't. They don't do
Just
that.
makes you feel like putting
Right.
earplugs and nose plugs in, like when you go to sleep, so nothing gets you.
Absolutely. Just like the whole like the average person eats like 12 spiders a year when they're
No,
sleeping.
I don't want to hear that.
That's totally not true though either. Don't worry, it's not true.
Okay,
It's a fake thing that people made
like
up.
that's nightmare
It
fuel.
is. I will not cover the other nightmare fuel of the last couple of weeks, but
Oh,
I
for
will
sure.
say that it had to do with the backyard too. We found something in the backyard I did not want to find, and I dealt with it. So, um, so yeah, that's basically where we've been up to for the last like 2.5 months. Hey, panic and gross bad is right. It was very gross. It was very bad. It's all of those things. I'm still having mild issues seeing or hearing about one of the things that I dealt with even now.
Let's just
Anyway,
say one person in our house that can usually handle things vomited violently and ran away and didn't handle it.
I got a
So,
nosebleed from it. He said,
hmm,
"Yeah, I got a nosebleed."
and
He
got
said,
a nosebleed, and
"Yeah,
then
I got a
Beth
nosebleed."
handled it.
I'll just do it. It's cool. Hey, Julie,
Hi.
good having you here though. Thanks for stopping by. Um,
But
so yeah,
yeah,
that's been the last couple months for us. We are just finally getting back to our creative work. I still haven't made anything in like 2 months. Like I sat down to make. It was something called Estoy Sola. It was for a friend of mine was running a jam called Not My Lang, where you're supposed to make something in a language that's not your own. So I had learned Spanish in high school, and I was like, I'm gonna make something in Spanish about. I was gonna base it on the fact that like your learning and your memory is kind of based on when you learned it. And so since I learned Spanish when I was in an all boys high school, like I have these weird memories attached to Spanish. And so, like learning Spanish is like, or, relearning Spanish now, it kind of has a weird association to it. And then since I was so stuck in a depression spiral, I was going to write, again, it was called Estoy Sola, which means I am alone. And it was basically going to be about like being in an area where you just can't communicate. Because honestly, that's our number one problem in this household, anyways, is people do not communicate with each other. And so I was going to write about that, and it just was so depressing. I couldn't even get a single page written, and I just gave up. I was like, I'm not entering the exam after all. Fine, whatever. Like, and so I haven't made anything in like 2 months. We have worked on one thing. We worked on something a few weeks ago or a month ago or something. The like the game that's based on Life is Strange. We haven't released it yet.
yeah, I can't wait to finish that with you. I,
Yeah,
I do enjoy making things with you, and I miss it.
yeah. Likewise, I miss being creative. And
I've
this week,
been
sorry, go ahead.
sorry, I've been working on a couple things, but then like I'll finish like something and then not post it. Like I don't want to like flood our itch page with just poetry things. I like to like mix that up with like we
Yeah,
make games. Like it's not just Angel writes poetry; it's Beth and Angel make games. So I try to not
totally fair.
throw those in there as much. But I did have a game I've started that is based on a hack of the Alone Among the Stars. I think
Oh
that's what
yeah,
it's called. And hopefully I'll get that one done soon.
yeah, I hope so too. And we should be making a game tomorrow if anybody's stopping by I have a banner for this. Hold on. If anybody stops by our Discord server, um, we do a stream, or we usually used to at least, and we're coming back to it now, or every Friday, same time, 7:30 Eastern. We'll just be getting in the voice channel there. I'll be sharing my screen, and we'll be making a game. Or doing something at least, like this could be anything that's the same thing there. But we're going to be making a game or finishing one that we'd started in there before called Will You Press the Button? And it's basically just a very simple like solo or multiplayer game where you get a random negative event and a random positive event. And if you press the button, then both of those things happen. And like it's not just like you secretly do this thing, like everybody will know about it. Like it'll be worldwide news that you've done this horrible thing and this good thing. And if nobody presses the button, then another good thing will be added to the button until somebody presses the button just to get the positive credit for doing the good things, you know what I mean? Like, but also you're taking credit for the bad thing. And a lot of times those won't be the same thing. So you might be doing something terrible to like one group of people, but getting rid of all disease or something. So, is it worth it to like do this awful thing to a group of people, but also improve everybody's lives? Or, like at what point is that a valid thing to do, I guess? And the idea is supposed to be kind of like reimagining that in your head, like at what point does the good outweigh the bad, and also just kind of a talking point, like because people have different levels of importance on different things, so it makes sense too. Um, so we're making that tomorrow, hopefully finishing it and actually releasing something new. It'll be amazing tomorrow. Um, Before we get started today, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to do Ludum Dare Theme Slaughter. Theme Slaughter, I love Ludum Dare so much. Ludum Dare is my jam. Basically, you make a game in 72 hours. There's a lot more to it. Like, there are people who are really hardcore about it, making it in 48 hours. You also have to, those are video games only. You have to also turn in your source code, and you're not allowed to use anything that you didn't make yourself. So, like, any music comes from yourself, any sound effects come from yourself. If you can use an engine, but like all of your coding and art and everything come from you in that 48-hour period, for the combo is what they call that. And you have to do it by yourself. Like, you can be in a team or whatever for the 72-hour jam, but for the 48-hour combo, it's really, really rough. But basically, everybody suggests up to 2 themes that they want, and then they do this theme slaughter. Theme slaughter is basically everybody goes through there are 1,601 themes that were suggested, and so each of them comes up here. Would this be a good theme? You get the theme. If you click on this, it'll like go to Google so you can see it, because there's a lot of things that are like some weird philosophy thing or whatever that nobody's ever heard of or whatever. I usually learn like 2 or 3 new things whenever we do this, but I need to say yes or no. Like, if is death a good theme? I would probably say no to that one because it's so general. Like, you want a theme that inspires people a little bit, but it still leaves a lot of room for interpretation. So, like, death is the beginning would be a good theme, but I don't think death on its own is a good theme. So I would say no on that. And then they give you more and more. And so there are 1,601 of them total, and you say yes or no. Sometimes I am warning anybody who's watching, there might be vulgar language here. There might be all kinds of random stuff here. If so, you can flag it instead of like keeping it or slaughtering it. That's the only thing you hit the spot on. If it's something like, like homophobic or racist or whatever, like just awfulness that should not be in a game jam. More than likely, a lot of them have already been gotten rid of, though, because I think today's the last day for Theme Slaughter. You can see here that in 7 days, 22 hours, and 40 minutes is when the jam starts. So next week will be several rounds of like voting for groups of the themes, and then it ends with one final vote, which is what we'll go through next week on our stream. Did you have anything to add before I jump into the one thing to share and then theme slaughtering?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. On our Discord server, I'll hit the banner again. We have where people can basically send us things that they've made or done or whatever, and I forgot to ask this week, so I'll do it next week though, because next week's actual stream part will be a lot shorter. This one's probably gonna be like 38 plus hours, so like didn't want to pick up a lot of time with other stuff. But basically, like the people there, like kind of become centralized people because it's a small server, like little cozy place. What they've made lately, and like if they'd like us to share anything of those. I did have one person though ask anybody that's willing to share something, and so I'm going to share that here. It's this Free Hannah and her co-defendants thing. Basically, they're raising money and also collecting signatures. I'm going to share it here in the chat, and then I've got it as a banner to share at the bottom of the screen too. We're out talking, but I didn't formally read this because we were running really late to get ready for this, and I was testing my new like microphone and stuff. But basically, this is a woman, assuming gender. That's always dangerous, but I'm pretty sure I saw a she in this description. Was protesting, and a lot of junk went down since then. It looks like the police have been really pushy about making things happen, like It says bail financiers have had their homes raided by a SWAT team. People have been charged with financial crimes. A bunch of just fake, horrible crimes have been added to these people, and they're worried that not only would this be something that people can't handle on their own in the first place, they need to raise money. And it does say her. Okay, so I did not assume gender wrongly, making sure. Um, Not only would this be something horrible for Hannah and her 60 co-defendants, they are worried about this setting a dangerous precedent. That if they can get away with it, then this is something that can be weaponized against protesters in the future. So if you scroll down to the bottom of this, there is a description of everything that's happening in the situation here. And at the bottom of the page, there is a sign the petition, and then you can donate also. They are trying to run events with other streamers and stuff, where like if a streamer is able to like share their information and stuff a certain number of times, they'll link to you too, and so you kind of like cross promote. But like I'll just throw in the one thing out there real quick just to share it. Mostly too because we just don't have that kind of reach. Like I wouldn't feel right asking for somebody like that to promote our stream when we're just like going through some themes real quick. So but that's all I've got. I guess it's time to start theme slaughtering. I do have a notepad here. I like to keep notes as we go, of like themes that we like, because I like to do like kind of theme suggestions in our Discord server too, like just for like like what would you make with this theme, and then like people can come up creatively with what they would do. But also because sometimes some of these themes are so cool that like you kind of get an instant idea of what you'd want to do, and so like we kind of talk it out and like make something kind of almost on the spot. And we see something cool. Like Overdone is not something that would do that, so I'm going to say no to that. Also, there we go. See, we had death, and now we have death increases the progression. So basically, death doesn't make you go forward, but death it kind of reminds me of those YouTube videos where it'd be like, it's Shrek, but every time he says donkey, the like speed of the video goes up 50%. And so like there's something that is increasing the progression of the game. Whether that's like every time you die, maybe every bit of gold you get is worth 1.5 times as much as it normally is, or like your experience points double every time you've died. So like it becomes really an extra hard challenge to die as few times as possible, but that kind of makes the game easier if you were to die too many times. You're muted, Angel.
I did actually have one thing I wanted to say I'd forgotten.
Go for it. Yeah.
We do have a jam running, like I wanted to talk about real quick. We have a jam on itch.io called Trick or Treatables, and it will have an optional bundle going on. I've got a link right there. And the submissions will be things that people can, you'd be giving permission for people to print them out and hand them out for Halloween. So they would be giving people alternative things for candy, to be giving out bookmarks, and little zines, postcards, things that would fit into a trick or treat bag and hopefully not get mangled by all the candy. Would be things that we're looking for, not just, individual page TTRPGs, but, little booklets or business card sized things that were geared towards kids or like Halloween parties that would have a little bit older children in them as well. Things like that. So we're going to be doing a bundle that will be pay what you want out of all of the entries once we're done. And then hopefully people can get that for free, or, throw some money the creators' ways. And we'll have plenty of things to print out to give away for Halloween.
Yeah, Angel actually came up with this idea like 2 months ago or so. Just the idea of like basically having things that people could print and either cut or fold up or both or whatever, just to kind of give out. Like, because I was like when I was a kid, my parents taught, I think it was my mom actually, taught us that like instead of trick or treating like at night like you normally would as a kid or whatever, you actually trick or treat really early in the day. Like you go at like 9, 10 in the morning, because if you do that, nobody has candy yet and they'll give you money. So we would like we'd end up with like $5 or $10 in cash, plus the candy, like each, because people would feel bad. They're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I haven't gone to the store yet. Here, have $1, or here, have a couple quarters, or whatever change happened ever." Back when people actually had cash and didn't have credit cards for everything. and it's just like it just kind of brings that magic back of like like you when you come home with a pumpkin or we had grocery bag or garbage bags at that time. Like my dad or my mom would walk with us and just literally carry a big black garbage bag and we'd just toss the stuff in there from each house. But like you, when you get home, you just have like the candy, which is delicious. But then you have like a toy or like a little booklet or something like special that you can keep forever. You still have that candy too, like because everyone has candy. But having some like leftover thingies that are good forever is nice too. So like Angel had that idea, and I thought it was like cool. To like give you like bookmarks or like little booklets that you can print out and fold, or like business cards or just whatever.
Right, we've already got some cool entries with some bookmarks and things. There's one person did 4 zines in one page, and so they're these little mini zines, and they have cute little cat drawings that kids could color. And then there's another one that's a zine on how to make homemade stickers by using like a double-sided tape and a clear tape, and then taping your art into it. It's really clever, but it's a step-by-step thing that has pictures and diagrams. By Man-Made Zines. Magica Studios did the Kitties zine. So, and then Lucky Newt Games has some super cute stuff with bookmarks and I think some business card games. And then Hugh Lashbrook, I haven't checked over that stuff yet, but it's TTRPGs and they look like they're brochures. Like, so they're really cool. Like, we've got some really neat entries.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I recognize like people because like Man-Made Zines is CJ is on our server.
Yes.
Magic Studios is Barb in our server. Lucky Nuke Games is a friend of ours, Munchie, and then Hugh Lashbrook is somebody I know from another server. I think it's the
Okay.
Lucky Tail or the Long Tail Games one.
Cool.
So yeah, it's really cool to see like people joining. We haven't actually put anything in here yet because we haven't had the time yet. But we have several things we're going to be adding in here, like bookmark games and stuff like that. This is open for things that you've already made too, by the way. So like, you don't have to make something new. If you already have something that's on a bookmark, or whatever, that's cool. The only requirements are that it be smaller than a page. I had raised it a quarter, but then Panic Gear pointed out a great idea of like a half page, so change it to half page. But also, it has to be like nothing
kid friendly.
Yeah, and also preferably something that's like easy to cut out and won't get destroyed. If it's not so small that like if you put it in a bag of stuff you're collecting,
and also that you have permission that random people print out and hand it out, but we will make sure that they know that they don't have permission to sell it.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of times people don't give that. Like it's not something that's assumed that people can give your thing out once they've bought it. And I know there are people who will take things and like they'll either sell your PDF on their website or like they'll like take it to like a con or something and sell copies of it. And like
that's so messed up.
Cool. But at least for us, we are all for people taking our stuff and giving it out. So I make sure we put on names and stuff and everything. And for this, everybody is giving permission to distribute because that's the whole point of it, is so that people can print it and distribute it. So in doing this, you are giving that license to people to do so. But again, like Angel said, we will specifically say on the jam page they are not allowed to sell it, just to give it away. I'm actually going to put yes on death increases the progression. I'm actually going to write that on my notepad. Death increases the progression. One more thing I wanted to mention about this, by the way, Ludum Dare is generally video games. Last year, or last time, it's like every 6 months or so they do these. It was April. So yeah, April and October is 6 months difference, right? We entered a tabletop game, and I think we were like 10th or 11th place for creativity. And then the first place for creativity was a tabletop game too. That was actually a print and play, like one sheet. That was like a roll and write. And I just love the idea of more tabletop games in here. You don't even have to make. You could make a zine or whatever you want for Ludum Dare. It's just, it's going to get up slightly rated different places. It's not a game. But the point here is that this theme has to work.
See you later, Zoe. Thanks for stopping by.
Have a great night. Good seeing you again, by the way. It has to work well for video games because people are going to make video games, but also has to, for our sake, has to work for tabletop games too. So if somebody were to make something like something to do with like the AI of the game or something like that, that doesn't really work for us. Like, or if it's like a press one button, like a one button game, like doesn't really work for tabletop. So I would automatically say no to that, even though I like those. And then the other thing to remember is that with Ludum Dare here, when the jam ends on the 7th, we have like a 2 3 week period where people rate each other's games. And in doing so, you're playing 20, 30, 40 other people's games, rating them. So you can get ratings too. The more ratings you give other people and the fewer that you have received, the higher in the list yours is, and the more likely you are to get a rating from somebody. So the best way to make sure you get your minimum 20 ratings to get rated in the end of the jam is to rate a bunch of other people's games. Which means if the thing is very specific, like I don't know, like Harvest or like Pumpkins or something, they're playing like 20 or 30 games about pumpkins. So you want something that can be interpreted in different ways. Like fall, for example, could be the season. It could be falling in something. It could be numbers falling. I still don't like the theme, but I don't like driving games. So crashing gets a no for me. This one's in here every single time. It's the snowman emoji. And it's probably going to be suggested like 3 separate times. So be ready for that connection. I won't say all of them because like I really don't want to read off 1,600 things. I'm probably just going to hit no pretty rapidly on a lot of these. And also, if you hit the wrong button, you can click one of these and like you can bring it back up and change your mind. I don't know what Twin Tail Mania is, but it's not something I'm really interested in. Beyond Frames might be interesting for video games because you get things like I can't remember the name of it. It was called like Comic something, but basically it was a comic book game where you played as like a comic book character, and it was a brawling game, and so you would actually like fight through the like panels in the comic, so like change rooms and things like that was really cool looking. So the idea of like between frames is interesting. I don't know. That's not right. Strange Machines is fun. There's usually something like Strange Machines in the final one anyway, so I like collaboration, even though that's not going to be a theme for playing games afterward, because it means people are probably going to assume 2-player or like, with a like badly made AI character on your side.
What do you think of unseen connections?
Unseen connections?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty cool. Because like that'd be interesting. You don't really know how the two things are connected, or how things are connected. Clients by the table in a tent. That is hyper specific.
What is it?
Client by the table in a tent.
Like what?
Yeah.
Explore the known instead of unknown.
That's interesting.
Rounding error.
Well, that's funny. So like you'd have to like round things off. That would actually be kind of interesting, but it would be really annoying for a tabletop game because you have to do all that math nonstop.
Right. No.
Yeah, input reading user a keyboard and your brain is not really something for a tabletop game. So no. Master the Chaos is fun. I like that. I don't know how you do that in a tabletop game, but Master the Chaos is fun.
Just in case they're confused by me throwing some out, I'm also doing the theme slaughter, but like they randomize, so we have different ones coming up at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Ugly is beautiful.
I just did that one too. That's funny. 90 seconds to midnight sounds like too soon. Like, because we have, the Iron Maiden 2 minutes to midnight, which in a game would be too little time. But 90 seconds to midnight is like, you're just trying to outdo Iron Maiden. Nice try. Fight your mistakes. That is actually something that we would make.
Yeah.
Fight your mistakes. That sounds like a fighting game that we would make where, like, you list out your mistakes for the day or whatever, and then you literally have to fight them. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't, even though trans rights is not a good theme, I have to say yes to it because I am also trans, and trans rights are human rights. So it's climbing. It sounds like a really creepy horror game. It also sounds like the spiders we deal with.
Crooked Justice.
It's climbing. Oh, I forgot to tell Mom that we were watching TV today. Okay, so just for everybody watching, I normally watch TV with my mom. remotely. Like she's in Illinois and we're in Indiana, so we watch it TV and message each other. But I'm just gonna message her and tell her that we are not gonna make it because we're streaming at the moment. Hey, sorry, we can't make it. I forgot we were streaming this week on Twitch, not like Netflix or something. We're gonna miss tomorrow for the same reasons.
I saw on the news, or like on a thing on my computer showing news that hurricane was about to make landfall in Tallahassee, and I started worrying about your mom, and I was like, oh yeah, she moved up north.
Yeah.
I still have family down there, and I'm worried about them too, but
Mhm.
I don't have to worry about your mama being hit by a hurricane right now.
No, you do not.
Unless it was coming off of Lake Michigan, which I don't see happening.
One of these themes is RPC, and I'm like, I have no idea what RPC is. So yeah, you can
Now
just
I have
click
to
the little
Google that.
box.
RPC.
Yeah, you just click the box and it comes up. It says it's a remote procedure call.
Huh.
When a computer program causes a procedure to execute in a different address space. That is way over my brain. Like,
Yeah, and I don't think we could do that on tabletop.
yeah, and I feel like honestly, the thing like a theme like this is that like all the games are going to be pretty much the same thing.
How about Crooked Justice?
Ooh, that's fun.
Keep
There's
the
a line-
precious.
What was the song? Dang it. I heard it in a song recently. Karma doesn't have a deadline. Like you can't get away from karma because it doesn't have a deadline.
That's epic.
No, it's not Taylor Swift. It's not the song I'm thinking of. I think it's maybe Bring Me the Horizon. Yeah, it's True Friends. Yeah, you can run, but you can't hide. Time won't help you because karma has no deadline. That's it. That's a good song, by the way. Anyway, if anyone is watching True Friends, stab you in the front.
I remember you talking about that the other day.
It's funny I say that because then Going Down comes up, and I'm just thinking of Sugar, We're Going Down Swinging. So,
I was thinking that.
like 2 songs in a row.
Keep the Precious was funny.
Ooh, yeah, I like that one too. Panic says, thinking of making an Oberon light costume for Ren Fair. What is Oberon? Like I know of Alberto, which is like pepperoni, but
or like the moon of Uranus. Like,
yeah,
Uranus. Like how do you say that? Or it's not like
I think
Uranus.
it's Uranus technically,
Yeah.
but like it's one of those things
That's
nobody
such
says.
a snobby way to say it.
It is, yeah. No move. That does not sound like a fun game. Simulator is way too general.
In a loop, out of touch. You are not the main character.
I always like that one because then you can like kind of like you have to influence the main character through like roundabout ways. I don't know how you do that in a tabletop game, let alone one that's
Well,
made up.
yeah, I liked your TTRPG where you did that with the shopkeeper one. Like,
oh yeah, that's true. That is
That
a fair
was
point.
good.
Like that would work. I like this novel nostalgia here because it could be like novel as in unique or novel as in a book.
what is the
Which-
King of Fairies? Like Panic said. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
That sounds fun.
It does sound fun. I've only
Logical.
been to like one Ren Fair my entire life, and I still had the vest. And when I moved in with Angel, and she was like, "What
I
is
was
this?"
just thinking that it wasn't a vest, it was a big robe.
Oh, okay.
Like it was like a green, like
I knew it was green.
it looked like a very simply sewn like sack
Yeah,
with
my ex
sleeves.
made it, and like every time I wore it, I was terrified that if I just moved wrong, I would like
Oh,
rip
no.
apart. So like,
But yeah, I think it had like a brown thing that went over it, like or something. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I was like, this straight up looks like Friar Tuck or something.
Urgency. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe that I said these words out of my mouth because I hated every single boss I ever had that said them. But when Josh was taking 300 years to do anything, I explained to him that there's something called a sense of urgency. Like every bad boss I've ever had beat that into my head. But basically, a sense of urgency is just that like you want to get things done quickly. Like let's rush and get this stuff done. And so just seeing
I
her,
heard you say that. I was like, oh, it's so fitting.
yes, because that dude's, I swear, oh my goodness. Um,
Oh, here's one. Where are they? I don't know how you'd make a
oh,
tabletop game with that.
you could do like a Where's Waldo-y kind of thing.
Eh.
Yeah, it's something I would want to do. I'm just saying, like you could, like
A game for the museum.
ooh, UI as weapons is really interesting.
What's UI?
User interface. So if you had like a character sheet, the sheet itself would be your weapon.
Huh.
Or like in a game, it's usually like even on my screen right now, I have basically like the UI is the fact that like we have these two buttons in the corner. There's the two tabs that are open. There's like the minimize, maximize, close window buttons, like just everything that you can interact with. Everybody hates 2D. Against the Waves is all right because I've always there's a song by Atreyu called in our wake in your wake.
Oh, that one's interesting. Revisit a children's book.
What is it?
Revisit a children's book.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you could pull up some like Shel Silverstein, or I'd just probably do a Garfield book. It's like it's got the Garfield comic book things, but yeah, in our wake. Atreyu had a song called "In Our Wake," and it's basically about how like what you do to other people, like affects them, and so like what will you do in your wake? And I just like that idea, so I like Against the Waves.
Get in the pit.
Get in the pit. Yes, that's a very metal thing. Things just keep getting worse. There's a theme.
When it breaks.
When it breaks.
Yeah.
That's interesting because it means that it will break. That'd be the very MacGyver-y kind of thing, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Repeat, repeat, repeat.
Interesting that repeat repeats.
Yep. Cannot go back.
Saving the Damned. I don't know if I like that or not. Because I feel like all the games would be the same again. It'd be like
I agree.
Lemmingsy or like, like this person committed these horrible atrocities. How do you save them?
Panic says, girlfriend sent me a trans Garfield meme earlier today.
Oh, nice. Garfield's amazing. Zoe, who was here earlier, actually has a Garfield emoji in its server because they do a lot of Garfield stuff in its server, and we always talk about the like Garfield defenestration comics, where the third comic is always Garfield getting thrown out the window. So they just take like the first two panels of a comic, and then the third one is literally just Garfield getting thrown out the window. And those are always really funny. Like everything done with Garfield is hysterical, honestly. I don't know why. I think it's because you can relate to all three characters pretty hardcore. Like at any given time, like John and Garfield and Odie. You are an NPC.
Over planning.
That's me. Hey. Like I said, 2 buttons gameplay, not a thing for Fractal Madness. That's a little much. Hey, I got rounding error.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I like sharing or scaring. Rock, paper, scissors actually goes a lot further than you think, weirdly. Rock, paper, scissors generally includes anything where, like, one thing beats another thing, which beats another thing, which beats another thing. So, like, if fire beats earth and earth beats water and water beats fire, that's rock, paper, scissors. But I'm not a fan of it because you have to remember all that stuff. Like Pokemon, technically, is rock, paper, scissors, even though there's like 12 different things, like, like.
Socialize to survive.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that.
I'll probably upload it, but I don't know what I'd do with it. That's my problem with a lot of these. I don't know. Journey in a Nutshell is fun. just because I'm thinking very much of the like small object making, where you're actually like crafting a thing, like putting stuff in a jar that is journalized, that like is your journey.
Hmm.
Journey in a nutshell. So far, I haven't got any ideas for anything yet, but we're only
Geography is your destiny.
just and it's true. According to schedule, I like that because it's very like in the tabletop world they have a genre called action programming, where you basically like you'll play like 4 cards in a row or whatever, and everybody does that, and then one at a time you flip one of the cards over, and everybody does their thing, and then you flip the next card over, and everybody does their thing. So like maybe you wanted to move up to another player and hit them, but when you play the 4 turns go out, either maybe you hit somebody else entirely, or you just smack the middle of the air and nothing happens, or whatever. So you're trying to like out to each other and guess that. But hidden rules is a good one for a video game. You can't really do that in a tabletop game because somebody has to know rules to go follow. Bestagon, like I remember they had that one like I think last time, like hexagon is the bestagon.
Oh, I think I know what that means. I keep having to Google words.
Oh no. Panic says, if I made a rock, paper, scissors game, it would just be a Beetle King fan game. Dang it. I am familiar with Beetle King, and I just feel like I don't know enough about it to even comment on that. Unfortunately, like there's like a lot of that today, and like in my brain, just not here apparently. Forging, I like. Well, no, forging is actually, I like that because it could be something like you're forging a sword, or it could be something like you're forging a signature, and like so you're just pretending to be somebody else. So yeah, I like forging.
Go out
Other,
with a bang.
ooh, so you have the whole like Valhalla game where like you have to die an epic death or whatever. Like
Yes. Once more. I feel like I'm being lentils. What? I'm not being too picky. I was gonna say I feel like I'm being too picky because I've slaughtered 112 and kept 21. But I was like, then lentils came up, and I'm like, I'm not being too picky.
yeah, usually we save maybe like 100 out of them or something, and right now I'm already have kept 19 out of like not even 100. I did like You're Not Meant to Be Here.
More than meets the eye. Okay, so we're up Transformers up in here.
Oh yeah, yeah. People can suggest 2 things. So that might have been 2 from the same person. Like they usually like when people enter them, sometimes they'll just do pairs of things. Drawing from the well is interesting because the well can be anything. Like it could be a literal well where you drank water. It could be like spoons from the energy for the day. Like
Reality inverted.
so like the opposite of like it's opposite day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna write down drawing from the well.
Trading time.
Okay, so it's kind of like in time where like time can be money or time
Yeah,
can be your health or time can be whatever. Like
that might be interesting.
yeah, your life
Assembly
is
line.
your life is floating island and you are the enemy. That is a really long, very specific thing.
It's weird because some of them it's like, lentils, so it's just like a very like random specific thing or like not enough like
Yeah,
information. And then there's other ones it's like that's hyper specific. Like you want something in between that's going to give
right,
everybody a boost in imagination and come up with all kinds of different things. So you're not having thousands of games that are basically the same thing.
right. I don't think many people are gonna vote for Liquid Logic, but I think that's kind of interesting. There was song by Demic called Liquid. I think it's really interesting. So I think something that could be interesting. Also, some assembly required is fun. I like the idea of you actually like making your own game. Like here's some stuff you figured out. Like there we go. I had said forging earlier, and I thought I said foraging, and now we got scavenging, which is actually my favorite thing in games. So scavenging definitely gets a yes. a game for the museum sounds interesting because it's more like, do you want a game that's, I don't want to say hoity-toity, but I mean basically that, like, that a museum would want to keep, even if nobody ever wants to play it.
Yeah, I was thinking of the game like Heather O'Neill made with Carla, like,
Oh yeah, that's fair. Like a game
dreams
about a
of
museum. Then in
yeah,
that case, yeah.
dreams of
Um,
yesterday.
yeah, Dreams Yesterday, right? Yeah.
And so I like the idea of something like that.
The Power of Friendship.
Hard compromise.
Hard Compromise is a good one. I like that. That'd be like two-player game where you have to like work with each other.
No luck, pure skill.
I can't not vote for Duality when Duality is such a good song. What you build is destroyed. That's so close to a good theme. What you build is destroyed. What you build you must destroy is a good one. Like what you build someone else must destroy is a good one. What you build is destroyed just sounds like you built a sandcastle and like a wave hit it. Like it just sounds like hopeless.
Hmm.
Like, so no thank you.
Bizarre nature.
Huh, interesting.
Gnome core.
Gnome core. Yeah, that would actually be pretty epic. Blessed is the flame. I actually kind of like that. That's kind of epic. Like, there's a lot you can do at that.
Industrial madness.
Panic says horrible museum scavenger hunt bookmark. We made a bingo game called Christmas Movie Bingo, and I've wanted to do for Lee's who does the Hyper 1 Hour Jam. I've wanted to make a video game bingo, like, or even like specifically Hyper 1 Hour Bingo Jam, like game where like it's just you'd be looking for things that you would find in the games you're playing during that jam, and so some kind of like scavenger hunt bookmark bingo-y kind of thing would actually be really funny. Maybe that's actually a great idea. I love that. I'm gonna write it down. I gotta make a note. What were you gonna say? That sorry.
Live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I wasn't going to
Ooh,
say anything.
okay, I like that because that is so true. Um, Bookmark bingo. So thank you, Panic. Inspired by Panic's comments from 926 stream. This would be bingo you play on a bookmark while trick-or-treating. So it'd be something for our jam that we were just talking about.
I was thinking about that the other day. Like a bookmark or like something like a postcard that kids play, and it would be like bingo, but like like if you see a princess or a like the real stereotypical.
Oh, I like that too,
Like,
because you could totally play it like while you were going to a party, like who are you going to run into? But also, like if you are the person giving out candy, you can play it. So I'm going to change that to on a postcard, and then can be used to find costumes or decorations or even types of candy received. Basket can be used by people at parties or giving out candy, or also trick or treaters. That's cool. I like that. All right. There we go. We finally got an idea. And it didn't even come from the thing. It came from Panic. Panic, you will definitely get a thank you credit when that hour comes out, assuming it does. And it should be something really easy to make. So, like, finally, a way to get back into making something. That's awesome. Okay.
I live, I die, I live again.
Nice. I like Blessed as a Flame or Blessed as a Flame, but I also like Path of Light. Those are both very pseudo-religious. Like what was it from Game of Thrones? Like something about the fire or whatever. But basically it's just that kind of thing.
The flame.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's that lady in red or whatever that always said like yeah.
Board game that can't exist physically.
Oh, that's perfect for us.
Restricted senses.
Okay, I like Grant Their Wish, but for the last Ludum Dare, we made a game about a genie, so I'm gonna say no to it because of that.
Creepy
I also
cute.
huh?
Creepy cute.
Creepy cute is awesome. I definitely like the Space Olympics. For those not familiar, "Welcome to the Space Olympics" is a song by Lonely Island. You should totally Google it if you've never heard it. But yeah, Space Olympics, it's a big yes. Alternating genres, I like that because one of the other ones was like mixed genres, and that's what you always hear about. Like let's make a match three game that's also a survival horror game, or just you take like let's make a first person shooter that's also an RPG, or like you hear those things together. But I've never heard of alternating genres. So like it is a first person shooter and it becomes an RPG and then it becomes a match three game and like things like that. So it could be for our sake, it would be that it starts off as like the game of war, like you're just flipping cards over first, and then like once you've gone through that one time, you use the remaining deck and you play solitaire with it, or just different things you're doing with that. So like I know alternating genres. Where there's a will, there are two ways. I need to put alternating genres back in though because I like that at some point.
Kaiju.
Oh yeah, I like ruins in general. Fight or fright. That's fair for an October jam. Existential dread hits way too close to home. That's not a theme. That's my life.
Fight your mistakes.
Yeah, I like that one. I voted that one up for me. Collect and spend is cool because a lot of times you get the collectathon games where you're just collecting them, or like you have like Assassin's Creed 2 where you turn into like 8 billion feathers for like a stupid outfit. But like collect and spend sounds more like yes, you're going to collect money, but you're also going to spend it. Like it's going to go back into the world, not just into your endless vault, like or something. So collect and spend is interesting. Like maybe you get penalized if you aren't spending enough of your money or whatever you're collecting.
Cartography.
Yeah, I love cartography. This theme is wait with an exclamation point on it. Okay, I can't not do photography either. That's fun. Convey love. For some reason, I thought it said Courtney love, and I was like, ew, no. But convey love is interesting. Sure, why not? I'm voting way more than I normally do. I must be in a decent mood today. Um, upside down. Pigs and oats. What does that have to do with each other? When I clicked on it, though, the one thing that came up is the brother may I have some oats meme. So
Ant and bear.
what is it?
Ant and bear. I have no idea.
So
what
maybe
that is.
something that's much tinier than something else. Yes, brother may I have some oats. That was a funny meme. I remember that. I didn't realize I was actually a pig in that meme, the original one. So
Cloud City.
about the blow, actually, I need to say yes to because I always like whenever I start spiraling a lot, especially the last couple months since it's been happening so much. I've been telling Angel that like normally my like frustration or whatever is like maybe like here, like or like waist level. You can't see my waist, but like waist level, basically, low enough that like it takes quite a bit to get that to come back up and explode. But that lately it's like here, like right at the top of my head. So it just takes a tiny little amount to make me explode now, and like I'm trying to get that to calm down. So yes, I'm always ready to blow at this point.
You're not meant to be here.
I got voted that one. I like that. I just found creepy cute too. I didn't realize there was one word that makes you doing cute.
Grab a friend. What?
Why phone them when you can grab them? I'm just imagining games with like hooks where you're grabbing people, like pulling them.
Yeah.
Get over here.
I was like, that just sounds like fondle bait, and that's just not right.
That is also very true. Grandma.
Your vulnerability is your strength.
Interesting.
I just gotta don't rush things. Okay. I wasn't going.
Oh,
for
if you hit no or yes too fast in a row, you can just wait a second and then do it. It's fine. Like it doesn't like judge against you or anything. Spinning
I'm
is a good
gonna
trick.
have to, like, it won't let me vote anymore because I went too
Yeah,
quick.
I've had that happen to me like 2 or 3 times. Every time I do this, I've never actually been like blocked or anything. Weather the storm, actually, I like that one.
Collect all the things.
Yes, this is the drill, and all I could think is like not the lasers and the drills, or not the
Every time. Yes,
yeah,
it
the
is.
drill.
Not the drill.
Fab Lab. I'm just imagining like making something fabulous, like in a laboratory. Same but different just reminds me of that meme too. Same but different.
Swap identities.
That one.
Can't swallow.
Oh, you're not a GIF. You suck. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, same but different. Food crime. I'm gonna put that on my list because that's funny.
Pew pew.
Yeah. I'm just imagining a game where you have to make all the sound effects yourself.
I remember I did that for you with Rubber Man when you made that one game.
Yeah, you did make all the sound effects on that. That was awesome.
I was like, oh.
Yes. We are in deep water. Everyone's schedule is again not a theme. It's real life. Like, stop it. Bartering, I'll always say yes to. I thought I'd already said yes to you. You're not supposed to be here. Maybe there are 2 different ones of that.
Pretzel Makers Union.
Unusual Sport is in here every single time. I think I hit yes on it every single time too.
Between Two Walls just reminds me of that creepy movie that had Richard Dean Anderson in it.
Oh yeah,
Like where he lived in that, like he was a construction guy that like lived in her walls.
yeah. I remember you
So
telling me about
creepy.
that. That is like messed up. Yeah, rules unknown is fun in a game when you have to kind of figure everything out for yourself, but it's not a thing you can do in a tabletop game because you have to know the rules to be able to play the game. Get the bunny out from the hat before eating your hat. There's even a period at the end of this theme. One day in the kitchen, dot, dot, dot. Coming back different is interesting. I like that because it's one of those like you never come away from an experience the same person. Kind of like the thing that I deal with in the backyard messing me up. Or like, even if you have a job for a while, like you can never. I worked in a movie theater for a while, like, and ever since then, I can't ever leave garbage behind, and I'm very like as neat and tidy as possible when I go to a movie theater, or like, things like that. So, I could see that.
Shipwrecked. Okay.
Think inside the box.
Only 3 moves. That'd be way too limiting for us.
Yeah, and it also sounds like a bad puzzle game.
Yeah.
And then playing like 30 of those. I'll say yes to Immortality because I already have an idea for Immortality because I didn't make that for Munchie's Jam.
Distorted view.
I like the word ephemeral, so I'll say yes to ephemeral.
Ephemeral sounds like a pill.
I could see that. But yeah, it's one of those words. It's an interesting word, but also it means something cool. So like, I like the word ephemeral.
No, Zoomer, no. Skibbity.
No skibbity.
No skibbity.
Oh no. Hey, this is not a game is one we can make because most of the things we make aren't technically games anyway, really. So Second Chance is so close to a good theme because I would have liked that if it was like Fifth Chance or something. I missed a couple of Panic's comments here. Quote, trespassers will be hot instead of shot. And then also, you know the rules, and so do I.
That's gonna be stuck in my head too.
How is that not a theme? Actually, seriously, I don't. How have we gotten away this long doing Ludum Dare theme slaughter and never getting rickrolled? Like not a single time.
Talk to your doctor to see if Emerald is right for you.
Yeah. Panic, you're awesome.
Have them do the work.
I think that'd be a good one in a video game. I don't know how to do that in a tabletop game.
I was thinking like what you would do like with a negotiating type thing with a game.
Huh, that's interesting too.
Kind of like what was coming to my mind is, you know, in Tom Sawyer when he's painting the fence and he comes up with a tale that gets everybody to do the work. So
Yeah.
it's another thing where it's a fallback apples to apples game where it's like, you know, they tell the story like which one of them would get you to do the work of that thing. Like
Yeah. Like which is the most convincing?
I don't know what that means. I don't think I can even say that word. Triskaidekaphobia?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Extreme superstition regarding the number 13.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I know. I don't remember. I don't know how to pronounce that, but yeah. Which I guess it makes sense we're getting some of these because it's like the jam runs from the 4th to the 7th of October. So we'll probably be playing these like just before, Halloween. Kill an obstacle. Just makes me think of like Battletoads during that stupid level where you have to run through the like maze of hurdles, except that you're like killing all the hurdles. Like you're all mad about it, like screw you.
Celestial.
That's a good one. Better never than late. That's funny. Like, no, but I'm 1 minute late. No, I'm not doing it.
It's a lot of just one word things.
Yeah, those almost never work as a theme, honestly.
Castle, collaboration, gardening, dragons. Like,
Have them do the work. This came up for me too, and I'm totally doing that one. Hey, pick up the pieces. We just listened to Schism by Tool while we were in the car earlier. I came on the radio, so pick up the pieces is very harkening back into that.
Disburden.
Huh. I didn't know that was a word.
I didn't either.
No, pardon me. That would be interesting.
Fight of flight.
Fight of flight?
Yeah.
Like flying is difficult.
Many hats.
Cognitive dissonance is a fun one. Cognitive dissonance, for those not aware, is a psychological state that occurs when someone has conflicting beliefs, attitudes, or values, or when their actions contradict their beliefs. A lot of times we talk about cognitive dissonance with transgender people too, because we're dealing with like bodies that we're trying to remake to be what we want them to be, or like changing our voices, or things like that to be happier with who we are. And like not necessarily, you don't have to do any of those things to be the gender that you are, but a lot of times people do go through that because if I were just to get on a phone call and talk to somebody like, hey, what's up, they'd be like, yeah, how's it going, sir? And just be like, oh, thanks, but like that's the cognitive dissonance of like just getting that thrown in your face, like, which I mean, I couldn't tell us, whatever, but a lot of people care, and a lot of people are mean about it. It's understandable to care, but
Everything has a side effect in Space Time, were a couple I upvoted.
Space Time is nice.
The game is not the game. Heat death.
Interesting. I like heist as a theme, but I don't want to play a bunch of games that are really stressful. The keyboard as a piano. What? Like, yeah, I guess the keyboard can be a piano, but I don't want to play a bunch of games where like you use your keyboard as a piano. Spilt milk. Ooh, final words is kind of fun. I'm just imagining a game where like there's a timer and you don't know what the timer is set for, and so like you just like having a conversation between two people, and like then the timer goes off and basically like everybody dies, like bomb blows up or asteroid hits the Earth, and like so what were the final words? Like what were your last words? Like just like random things that
Colors are dangerous.
interesting. I like guidelines, not rules, because that's kind of like a make your own fun kind of thing. And relinquish control is fun too. I don't know how you do that in a tabletop game, but
Everybody hates 2D.
I thought that one too. That was funny. I totally knowed it, but yeah.
Yeah, I noted as well. Ignore the rules. Get the bunny out from the hat before eating your hat.
Yeah, I thought that was such a weird one. Like what?
That is really weird.
Refurbished. Huh?
Pivot.
Yeah. Yes. Was that actually a theme?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Explore the unknown.
Board game design is not a theme. Get in the pit is funny though. I like that. The cat is out of the bag. Fight Fire with Fire just reminds me of like how many songs are based on that.
Fluctuation. That's what it says. Fluctuation.
Okay then. Rip and tear. Yeah. Got some Doom reference up in here.
Make something great again. Oh, jeez.
No. There's a dog in there. Just reminds me of like when people are like, you don't want to go in there right now. You like after they come out of the bathroom. Like, there's a dog in there. There will be a table and a client. I'm assuming that's the same person that did the whole like there's a client at a table in a tent or whatever it was like earlier too.
It's so weird. Panic says, I want to make a Duke Nukem style, and his power up is testosterone. And like the game doesn't say he's trans, but some of his one liners hint at it at the end. And when he's shirtless with a bunch of babes, you can see his rad scars.
That sounds freaking epic. I love that because Duke Nukem, like especially, like I even made a game called Not Yet Dead. It was all capital letters, and it's about like like living life loudly. And like Duke Nukem, you just like you have all these catchphrases and like like epic music and just things like that. And so Duke Nukem especially would be really perfect for that. I like that's awesome. I love that. Panic.
Liminality.
It's bad too because I'm just now thinking that like that's gonna happen and people are gonna be like, oh, you just don't understand. He somebody hit him with a sword and he got cut there. That's what happened. Like it's not that. It's just this other thing.
No.
Yeah. I don't know as a theme. That's funny. That would be so hysterical if I don't know one.
Yes.
This reminds me, was it 2 years ago for the for Zoe's Knife Bunny Game Jamboree? The theme was TBD.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I remember that.
yeah, that was actually the winning theme was TBD. So I don't know, would be hysterical. I think like that would be amazing because everybody would just make whatever the heck they wanted. Not your responsibility. There's Skibbity and Revisited Children's Book. I remember that one. I like that.
Robot has come up like Several times now.
What has?
Robot.
Oh, weird. Panic says, yeah, he got hit right in the titties and then lost him in the war. That's just. Oh no. Uh,
Is this really what you wanted?
oh, hey, that's funny. Um, you had heard it the first time, I think, a couple days ago. There's a song called Kool Aid by Bring Me the Horizon. And one of the lines, he in the chorus, he goes, "Is this what you wanted?" And then there's a response of no. And then they ask, "Do you want some more?" And the response is, "Yeah." Like, no, this is what I wanted, but like now that I have it, yeah, I want more of that.
It is funny.
I hate doing this again, but yes, I will vote fishing up so we can finish our friggin' fishing game.
Don't then.
No, I did it. It's fine. Incompatibility as a strength would be funny. Like you're just stuck with this person that you hate, and like. But
Never,
they,
never dig too deep.
oh, that sounds like Moria, basically. And I love digging anyway, so like definitely.
Wow.
Oh no.
Yeah. Suck my duck.
Oh,
Like,
no.
wow. Keep it contained.
I'm all for gender and stuff being included in themes, but gender fight just sounds like men versus women thing, and I don't want to see like 50 games where
No.
you know.
Time is space.
Time is space?
That's what this says.
Huh. How would that work?
I don't know. I think that breaks my brain, so I'm going to say no.
Maybe if you were immortal, the only thing you have to worry about is the amount of time it takes to get somewhere. So even if like it takes you like 100 years to get to Mars, like who cares? You'll get there, but like it's gonna take a lot of time.
Hmm.
I don't know. They misspelled Kauai. Um, they also misspelled quiet. Although maybe that means something else. I don't know. It's a rhythm game, and it also misspelled rhythm. Fetch is one of them, and I literally
Stop
am
trying
only
to make
saying,
that happen.
yeah, that's the only reason I'm saying yes. Dang it, what is pareidolia? I know it. I just like I'm gonna hate myself when I click this and I look up what it is.
I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah, it's like when you see like a face in something when there's not a face, like in a tree.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I see it in like the ceiling tiles and the like floor tiles and the cabinet grain, and I'll just see random faces.
I think that'd be an interesting one, just if we make a quick little like, who did you meet today? And so like it's just like keep an eye out for, you know, patterns of animals or faces or whatever else, and like give them names and then who are they? Like,
With one change, dot, dot, dot.
hmm.
Annoying protagonist.
High ground. Anakin, I have the high ground. I've seen so many memes of the high ground looking at Quora stuff. It's hysterical. Subscription fee. I like that. That could be a fun message game. Like all the subscription fees you pay.
Next generation. I feel like you could finish your one game. The generation ship thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Dream. No, not Dreams of Tomorrow. Something of yes, tomorrow, something. What the heck? I gotta look that up now. It's Shadows of.
Their shadows awaken,
Yeah, that's it. Their Shadows
or
Awaken.
their shadows slumber.
Their Shadows Slumber and Their Shadows Awaken was the one. Yeah. Okay, right. I like Contagious Abilities. That's actually a really fun theme. See, that's the kind of thing I think is perfect as a theme. There's only 2 words. You can do so much with that, but it just immediately makes you think of like, somebody's really smart and they walk by someone else. Like all of a sudden, that other person is smart now, or like, if I could clap and like make a sonic wave and I walk past somebody, oops, now they can't. Oh no, you know. Maybe you don't listen when they get your abilities. Maybe they're bad abilities. Like, so there's all different kinds of things for that.
Please vote for this theme. I'm begging you.
Uh,
Modern world problems.
Nice. I like that. Like trying to figure out how to credit or how to attribute something to Wikipedia when you look it up, since you aren't in books. I'm kind of spoiled by speaking of songs, Shadow Moses by Bring Me the Horizon, because they taught me the word sempiternal, which is just so much better than the word endless. Like endless is a boring, plain, mundane word, and sempiternal is so much better. So I had down with that. It lurks in the shadows, and then 5 themes later, in the shadows. Your turn to roll. Okay, I'll go with that.
I've seen time travel like 20 times too.
Mm-hmm. Alternative history is an interesting one, but only people that do interesting alternative history, because every time anyone does alternative history, it's like, what if Hitler won the war? What if, like someone else won this exact election? It's like, but they never really like go beyond the most basic things. Like, it's never like, what if cancer was cured 100 years ago, or something like that. What if phones were never invented? Like,
What if 10 years after COVID, everyone gained a superpower?
yeah, the fairy tale, like all capital letters for the.
But wait, there's more.
Yes, in your head is one of the themes. Now all I can think of is zombie, so I clicked yes on that because of that. Combo was one of the themes. All I could think of is like what Killer Instinct, combo. Like, yeah.
Maladjustment. Monsters are misunderstood.
Every 10 seconds is not going to be a theme again. Stop trying. It already happened like 2 Ludum Dares ago. Stop it.
Well, it's been like 4 now.
Has it?
Yeah, wow. I think so.
That's wild. We made that game that long ago.
Yeah, because like just a second. Now I got to look it up, our Ludum Dare thingies. My library. I think we have a Ludum Dare.
Modern world problems just came up for me too.
I guess we only posted some of these, but yeah, there was the one that like, you did on not DTS, but the other one.
Screen Top.
Yeah, the one you did on Screen Top was after Epicathlon. The Summoned. I guess that was 2, according to this, but I thought you did another one.
I can look it up really quick. Actually, my games, because it just shows your history. Okay, so we had the Summoned was the last one, and then in Space, No One Can Hear You Explode, and then Side Quests Only, and then Crawling to the Brink, and then before that was the Epicathlon. So yeah, it was actually 5 ago.
I was gonna say it's quite a few.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's been. Does it say when that was? A year and a half ago. Actually, I like the word celestial. That's another cool one. Music is the key I had to say yes to just because of Bioshock Infinite. Keep the Precious. I do like that one too. I agree.
RPG and routine life.
Hey, that's perfect for us.
Yes.
Save the video game industry. But more games. I like never dig too deep too. I'm actually gonna write down my list of notes. Never dig too.
Salami? What?
The question mark? Like, is that what it is?
No, it's just salami.
Oh, okay.
It's like I just was questioning why anybody would make that a theme. It would be funnier with the question mark, though.
Yeah. Ninja Bounty Hunter.
Food crime.
Fluctuation.
The world is alive is kind of interesting.
World is live is interesting. I agree. Practice makes better. That's funny. Never surrender. Cheat is one of them, and all I can think is like now we can't like. I can't remember his name already now. Um, Dave Grohl. Like we learned recently, I guess that he has a love child, like because he cheated with somebody. And it's like, oh, that kind of ruins that because he seemed like such an awesome dude. Like, how dare you? Free of Control sounds like something from like Loki from the original Avengers.
Oh yeah, when he said, I was trying to think exactly what that was.
Like people
Yeah,
don't want to have to make choices. They
right.
like, yeah. Blood is bad.
Just one finger.
I
Okay.
just saw that one pretty recently too. Yeah.
Wizards with swords.
Wizards of Swords. I think Gandalf had a sword, so I mean it's fair. Push your luck, fine. That's actually a thing from tabletop games. So
Contagious abilities.
yeah, I love that one. New Olympic sport is also really fun. I like that. New Olympic sport. Oh my goodness. I cannot remember the dude's name, but he had there's this guy I watched. He had a short of like 3 or 4 different um, Olympic sports, and they were all really funny. One of them was like it was like synchronized sneezing and like I forgot what the other ones were, but it was all really funny stuff. Oh yeah, there's the please vote for the same. I'm begging you. I didn't realize the please and begging were in capital letters too.
Yes. Fictional phenomenon.
Outrunning the truth. I like that because that's like snake oil salesman or something. Like trying to stay ahead of all the truth of what horrible like lies they're telling across the country or whatever.
Absolutely nothing is random.
I also like Return Journey.
Cerebral.
Like fighting with your brain.
Yes.
I like Return Journey because it's like basically, you've already completed the adventure. You've already done the thing. Now it's just about making it back. And you're probably like everybody's tired. A lot of people are dead or knocked unconscious and sick and hungry and thirsty, and you're just literally trying to survive to get back home.
This is interesting. It's only do it once. And I was thinking that would be an interesting thing where if every player at the table had the exact same cards, but like, so you played every card once in your hand,
Yeah, okay, I see.
And like, so each card draws certain things out or whatever until the end, and then whoever has the winning card, that would be interesting. Like to build a deck that worked that way.
Yeah, I think that's. I wrote a quick little note of what you were talking about there. Isn't the emptiness machine the new Linkin Park thing? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of the themes here. I'll say yes to that.
Who dares wins.
And it's funny too because I'd actually seen Only do it once, and I was like, eh. Oh, the only way out is through. I like that. There's a great I don't know what the heck song is that. No way out but through lyrics. It's not faced. Why is it every time I search for like a song, it's always comes up with somebody else? It's Trivium. And No Way Back, Just Through is the name of that song.
You're not supposed to be here. Just reminds me of Clerks. Well, I'm supposed to be here today.
Yes. Where is my dog? That's funny because like Where is my dog is one of them, and then earlier was There's a dog in here. So the two of those tell a story.
I saw Switch and Switch 2 now.
That's funny. Can't touch this. Sack.
Ancient technology.
Oh, I like that. That's cool. I just came across the lentils too.
The line between good and evil divides every heart. That's so specific.
Yes, it is.
Knock it off. Lack of consequence.
Lack of consequence. This one's no luck, pure skill, and it's the opposite of what I like. I like lots of luck with some skill.
Workers' control.
Is that like you are in control of the workers? The workers have control? Like
I don't know. It just says workers.
control you? Like oh, that's funny. One of the themes was fight your mistakes. Because I was like, I wrote that one down. I like this much, and then there's fight your own mistakes.
Participation in the management of factories and other commercial enterprises by the people who work there.
Oh, was that like when you clicked it in Google?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought like that was actually the name of another like.
No. Because I was thinking like worker placement like game like with workers control, but I don't know.
I swear that's a meme too.
Hmm.
It is 3 a.m. Was that the time that you said the one person, like the one
That was
kid?
4 a.m.
4 a.m. Okay.
Because as soon as you said that, it made me think of that.
Interesting. Liminality is one of the themes, and liminality is the state of being in between two stages or places, or the process of transitioning between them.
Hmm.
So kind of like being alive and dead at the same time. Or like, oh, okay, so yeah, there's like a little like, what do you call those? Like the overlapping charts. But basically, it'd be like, you are not good at art. You want to be good at art.
Oh yeah,
now you've learned some art, so you're kind of in between the two. Like,
I actually voted for that liminality.
yeah, I just did too. I like it. It's cool.
This name is Grandma.
Yeah, I saw that earlier too.
So random.
That one is.
Oh, I found your
Sorry,
pigs and oats.
yes. That one was hobby horsing, floating. Shrek is key. Like that's not even doesn't even
Wow.
make sense.
Nothing happens if you won't move.
That sounds like most dungeon crawl like the like like you move, everything else moves. You move, like that kind of thing.
I'm not even.
This one was 2 spoons, please.
I'm not even halfway through.
Yeah, I'm just under halfway. But it's only been like an hour and a half, so that's right on for 3 hours. Normal is a distribution. That's an interesting phrase because, like, like if you were to distribute things evenly, then that becomes normal. But like
Wars! Exclamation point.
pet wars, that's funny. Save yourself first.
Skelepathy. You can't feel blind sight, but when you say you can feel it in your bones, it's your bones communicating.
Weird.
I had to look up what skelepathy was.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. Like I've heard of it, but you know what I mean. Like I didn't like I had no idea what it was, but I've heard it.
Dragon War or Peace.
Dragon War, what?
Dragon War or Peace.
Oh, that's funny. This is chirality, and I was like, did they misspell chivalry? But it's like, no, chirality is a chemistry thing. A
Hmm.
molecule or ion is called chiral if it cannot be superimposed on its mirror image by any combination of rotations, translations, or some conformational changes. That is 8,000 layers above my head.
It rolls.
Nice. What happens at the end is fun. I could see doing something with that. Like, like you're just kind of continuing the story after something else.
Grocery shopping.
Snailed it instead of nailed it.
Hmm.
Banana everyone! Exclamation point.
Nostalgic amnesiac.
What was it?
Nostalgic amnesiac.
Huh. Interesting. This is Too Fast, Too Furious, like the TOO.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Can
Oranges.
you go ahead?
Oranges aren't bananas.
That is true. This is community service. I'm voting that one up.
You are not the power.
Oh, I remember seeing that one before too. Leave something behind is always a theme too, and I like it. So yeah,
Okay, I have to vote for Wizard Olympics.
Wizard Olympics is fun. Yeah,
Fractal madness. I don't know what
interesting.
I'd do for that.
Yeah,
Sounds fun,
cool.
but
Yeah, I
I,
agree. It does sound like something that would. It sounds like a cool title for a game, but not necessarily like. I feel like most people would just enter a game called Fractal Madness and then like
mm-hmm. What is
hyperdimensional
that?
storage. That's funny.
Kardashev scale.
What is that?
A method of measuring a civilization's level of technological advancement based on the amount of energy it is capable of harnessing and using.
Oh, interesting.
The measure was proposed by Soviet astronomer Nikolai Kardashev in 1964 and was named after him.
Hmm. That is actually fascinating. I
I
like
feel
that.
like I get taught a lot from the Ludum Dare titles.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. Like I actually like that about them. Like people come up with some cool stuff. Fictional sports is like make up a sport or whatever. Some call it that. Cozy spooky is fun. I like that because if I was going to do anything spooky, I'd want it to be cozy. Like 3 or 4 time loops here too. 2 minutes. That's funny because it was like, but wait, there's more. Now there's, but wait, there is more.
What happens after the end sounds interesting.
Yeah, I like that one. I clicked on that one too. This is boots and cats. That's funny. I forgot where they came from, like where that originated. But like they use that as like you say that to be the sound of like drumming, whatever.
Hmm.
Mayhem, just because of the commercials, has to be a yes. Mayhem like me.
Is it food?
This reminds me of like, is it cake?
Unwholesome shortcut.
Weird.
That reminds me when Dad had his other job and I'd go help him. He'd make me close my eyes through the
Oh
like
yeah,
bad part of town. It's like that's the
yeah.
unwholesome shortcut.
Indeed, that's awesome. That is a very
Like
unwholesome
going by
shortcut.
strip clubs, close your eyes.
Yes, like you don't want to see that. There's gnome core. I'll take that. That's a yes for me. Um, Key is not key. Like it just sounds like a bad version of Baba is
You,
win, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
It will always break. That just reminds me of the one you already made with the in space. No one will hear you explode.
Oh yeah, that's true. Unusual health bar sounds like it's like a word away from being a really interesting theme.
I thought we did that for
Your health bar is a
yeah.
weapon. We did,
I
but
was
yeah,
like we did
unusual health
something
bar.
like that.
Maybe like if your health bar was a number of candies that you could, like, but you couldn't eat them because otherwise it's your health, or like um, that would actually be kind of interesting if we could manufacture, like, how you're talking about like those the games where you write on the paper and like you're not
Hmm.
allowed to write over the same thing or whatever. Like if you had pens that had very little ink in them or something, then like the game ends and you lose when you can't write anymore because the ink's gone. I think
Oh,
that would be a really cool health bar. But since we cannot manufacture pens that have very little ink in them, and I'm sure nobody would want to buy a whole bunch of pens that barely have any ink in them, like it's not really something that works. Married to your question mark? Like that just sounds like like the title of like a bad anime show or something,
yes, it does.
or like a reality show. There's Pew Pew. That's funny. I'll say yes to that.
Sulfur hexafluoride.
What?
Sulfur hexafluoride. It's just a compound.
Okay then. Only shapes could be interesting if we were better with art. Like the game would only use like circles and squares and whatever.
One who laughs last.
Okay, let's tell a joke, and the second everybody stops laughing, whoever's still laughing wins. Like I don't know. Keep yawning. Sorry about that. I like that you're not the hero and stuff, but there's so many themes like that right now, and none of them are
Hmm.
interesting ones.
Creature hunting.
That could be cool.
And I put no.
Yeah, I wouldn't like necessarily want it either, but I'm just saying like it could be cool. There's Wizard Olympics, and I'll definitely say yes to that too.
One day in the kitchen. Dot dot dot.
Yeah, I remember seeing that one too. No matter the cost.
Some assembly required.
Oh, I should have known hobby horsing, like what that was. It's like the gymnastic thing.
The one that ends it all.
Oh, that's kind of interesting too. Okay, so that literally is all non-Euclidean is. I thought maybe it meant something more than that, like and like was a more like usable thing, but no. This theme is hacking, and all I could think of is like making a game called I'm In, and then like somehow you hack each other. But like I'm in RPG and routine life. I'm all for that one. Grandiose villainy. It just reminds me of presentation, like from Megamind.
Yes.
I'm actually a little disappointed in the themes this year because usually by now I have like 30 or 40 things written down on a bunch of half-made games, and like I just have like
Well, a lot of these are repeats from like other years and stuff too,
yeah,
or repeats of themselves or sounding familiar. Like you say no to like one thing, it's 100 of them.
right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have
Everything
21.
once you did.
Yes, I actually just saw that one pretty recently. Um, I have 21 things written down, and one of them was one of your ideas, and that's it. Like none of them have like a description of anything. Let's go gambling is fun. Um, but yeah, this is so disappointing this year or this Ludum Dare around.
6 degrees of gravity.
Yeah, I didn't understand what that meant.
Me neither. I think some people just write things down because they sound interesting, but it's like,
Yeah. Okay, I have to say Pretzel Makers Union and get to yes just because of like Pretzel Day from The Office.
you can only add sounds kind of interesting.
Oh, that does sound interesting. Like once you've increased it a certain amount, it can never go back down.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that. Resumption? Is that even a word? Yeah. The action of beginning something again after a pause or interruption. So like it's when you resume, it's a resumption.
I swear I've seen unusual superpower like 20 times now.
I don't think I've seen that one once yet, weirdly. There's Switch 2, but I haven't seen Switch yet. I like cannot go back too, for the same reason as the cannot go down or whatever. I have no idea what I'm doing is a fun theme. The Truth Lies in the Shadows reminds me of The Cave We Fear to Enter by uh, by As I Lay Dying. Is the latest.
Nothing is lost, nothing is created, everything is transformed.
Interesting. Sounds like the whole like swords to plowshares thing. Like you don't have the funds to go get more iron or whatever, so you just literally reforge your swords into the tools you use to work or whatever. Like
Mm. The emptiness machine.
yeah, I said yes to that one.
Think inside the box.
Yeah, I like that one too. Actually, growing defenses sounds interesting just because it reminds me of the Simpsons horror episode where like the aliens were watching as humanity's weapons got bigger and bigger and bigger. So like, you know, like like my defenses are bigger than yours now, and so like they come up with bigger and like just back and forth forever. But again, not anything like enough to like let me write stuff into or like write stuff down. Sorry, I was reading what stuff kids are into. Is one of the themes. I think that actually a really funny one because like everybody making fun of the like younger generations, like 30 skibbity toilet games and stuff. A game just called like Ohio.
No.
Well, yeah, but then you'd have people that are like our parents' age. Well, I don't know if anybody our parent age enters Ludum Dare, but like I think this might be
We are their parents' age, so
I know I'm saying, well, like if somebody our parents' age was on there, then they'd make something against our generation, and so
yeah,
all kinds of works out. But
they wouldn't because our generation's amazing.
yeah, they would. Yeah, I agree.
And there's nothing bad to be said about it. I'm just kidding.
I agree. Absolutely perfect. We did no wrong whatsoever. I like the before a live audience. This just reminds me of like this show was recorded in front of a live studio audience. Just
Mhm.
like nothing is true, everything is permitted. It was only nothing is true, not everything is permitted.
Crunchy.
But crunchy. Yeah, there's the nothing is lost, nothing is created, everything is transformed. I like that. I'll keep that. Turn the
Make it
table. Huh?
make it purple.
Yeah, I like that one. That was funny. I think I said no to it, but I did like that it was there. This is turn the table, so it just reminds me of like, well, wow, how the turntables.
Yes. I feel like I've seen Fractured 20 times too. It's like, why do I keep thinking I'm seeing these over and over?
I don't know.
Twin Tail Mania.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was. It was actually like the second theme I saw. I'm like, I don't know what this is, but whatever.
Banana Everyone.
I love that one. That was hilarious. I said no to it, but it's hilarious.
The Stupidest AI.
Knock knock, who's there? That's actually a theme. Everything is bananas. There's the skelepathy one you were talking about before. No regeneration is interesting. Like you can't heal, I guess, basically. It sounds like it'd be a really stressful set of games to play though. I don't know. I still said yes to it. I'll just say no to it later if it makes it.
There will be a table and a client. I just saw that.
I think that was so weird.
Girly Pop. Helping from afar.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. Like you're kind of like guiding, but not actually doing. I saw fall, and there was falling, and now there's always falling. Too many beans. That's funny.
Helping from afar could kind of be the like a different version of your, so you've become a mythological god or something.
What could be?
The helping from afar.
Oh yeah, that's true. Death is but a beginning.
Really?
Oh no, something bad.
I don't even know if I want to say that out loud.
No, it's fine. You don't have to.
Well, I will. Anime titties.
Oh yeah, I saw that earlier too. I almost hit flag
That's
on it.
so
And I was like,
immature.
no. Yeah. World famous pie. Actually, I take it back. I'm gonna say yes to that, just because pie could be a pie or a pizza. I guess. I'm trying to think of what else a pie could be. Like a pie chart. The world's most famous pie chart. I don't know what else that would be, but I'm just loving the idea of like taking over
Hmm.
control of little cafe somewhere that has like, just suddenly gets like an article written about in like New York Times or something huge that like they have the best pie in the world, so everybody starts coming over there and like that
Then you
could be
have to make
interesting.
a different version of it because you don't know what pie is.
That's interesting. Yeah, like
Weird
an
flex.
I like that one because of the whole like weird flex, but okay.
Hmm.
That's such a great like insult to somebody. Um, yeah, like you're running a or like your parents run the cafe and they die in an accident and like because it's so sudden they never had a chance to write down the recipe and like you don't know how to make pie at all. So yeah, you've got to figure out how to do it, and everybody's like angrily wanting this pie.
I was just thinking of that TV show where Alan Tudyk is an alien and like doesn't really know what's going on. Like
Oh
so
yeah,
like he took over someone and it's just like what's this world famous pie they speak of? Bioquantum symbiont integration.
wow, okay.
BQSI. Like okay, no.
Oh, I remember seeing that one. I clicked on it and it like brought up like other stuff that's like not quite exactly the same. Oh, that's hysterical. This is you've probably already seen this one, but anatodephobia, and
Mm-mm.
then in brackets it says the fear of ducks. And I clicked on it and it says it's the fear of being watched by a duck or goose. And then like the more apt description is it's commonly understood as the fear that somewhere out there in the world at any time a duck may be watching you. It's like you don't know when it's happening. It's just at some time a duck is watching you. Like I love that idea of that of like just being terrified that sometime a duck might be watching you.
Why don't you care?
Yeah, dang it. Why don't you care? I take it back. One resource is kind of interesting because in most games there's at least like, there's money, there's like, like wood or steel or whatever, or there's like points or whatever. But to only have one resource is kind of interesting. It'd be like, like when a game is like your points are your resources, so like you're spending your points, but then like you spend your points on if there are no other resources, like so how does that work? Like that's interesting. Okay, apparently the gender wars person like didn't have enough of that, so they actually put boys versus girls.
I was thinking that when I came across it. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, let's be more specific now.
yeah.
Who broke this?
I remember that one. I hit yes on it because it's funny. Like I'm just imagining a party game where you're like explaining how somebody else did it, or like why it couldn't have been you because you were doing this other thing instead.
You are NPC.
I saw like you are an NPC or you are the NPC, but I hadn't seen you are NPC.
Spinning is a good trick.
Inconvenient power ups is a funny one. I like that.
Make like a tree.
Yeah, I remember that one. Like dot dot dot. Yeah,
Critical existence failure.
critical existence failure.
Hmm.
I think I said no to that earlier, but now that you say it out loud, it's like, huh?
This trope enables comeback victories, which are more dramatic than one side holding the advantage for an entire game.
Is that the description of that, or is that a different one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting actually. All right, I'll bite is a funny theme. Being watched is another one of them, but that's not as fun as the like duck one.
Too many beans.
Yes, I saw that too. I thought those were funny. Like, it's so random.
Too many is bad for you.
Oh, I like that. Archaeology always gets a yes from me.
Zerg.
Zerg, like from I remember seeing that one earlier too. From Toy Story.
Hmm.
You did it wrong, and there's 3 exclamation points at the end of that. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, there's cartographer again.
I saw cartography and I saw cartographer, but I've only seen each one of those once.
Hmm.
But I still have almost 400 to go, so.
Grandiose villainy.
I love that one. That was awesome. Oh, there and back again has to get a yes because that was the original name of the Hobbit,
Hmm.
or part of the title.
Mistakes are permanent.
Permit.
Permanent.
That's hilarious since it is like
A
mistake
permanent mistake.
and a permanent. Yeah.
A puzzling look.
Interesting. Who Dares Win sounds like a push your luck game, so that's cool. I'll go for that. Balls is the thing.
Chicken mother block. These are 3 different ones. It's just funny, like all
Okay,
different.
that's awesome.
Command line interface.
A complete set.
Monk's Nightlife RPG gun. I
Monks
just
with
need
their
to
gun.
combine. Yeah, I just need to combine like all these one word things into
Yeah,
a.
there you go. That'd actually be pretty funny if you just took like all of these and then threw several of the one worders together.
Mhm. I think I'll say yes to photography.
It's funny because I've kept 140 themes, and I feel like I was at 70 kept like within the first like 200 or 300, and then like I've only saved that many the whole rest of the time.
I've slaughtered 1,166 and I've kept 69.
Oh wow, nice. Shipwreck is cool.
Unrequited.
I like that one. I didn't say yes to it. I said no, but still I like it.
Poetry.
Oh, that's cool. Oops.
Oh,
I keep
yeah, it's cool, but I don't know how I make a game out of that.
you don't have to make a game.
Huh?
You don't have to make a game. It can be a like poem or
Like for Ludum Dare?
yeah. Yeah, there's actually a thing. Where is it? Where they say that, like, because it's about the whole video game thing too. Uh, do- their site isn't exactly the most user friendly, but where the heck is that? Is it like a help or something? Rules. I think that's it. Non-video game entries. Board and card game entries are allowed, but understand that they're difficult to play. You often need a second player. Games that are hard to play have a hard time getting ratings. The ideal Ludum Dare game can be played right in your browser in a few minutes alone. Coming soon, and they've had this forever, so I would say it's fair to say now. We will soon allow non-game craft entries. If you can't make video games or don't want to, you'll soon be able to submit other things: comics, stuffed toys, short music albums, posters / wallpapers, cakes, short films, etc. Any creative project inspired by Ludum Dare and the theme. We're not ready to open submissions to craft entries, but stay tuned. So yeah, I guess I'm not doing that yet, but like
Interesting.
yeah. This one is Pidary, Pidary. And when I click it, it says um, including results for it with an I at the end, which is like a Hindu deity. So like I didn't even spell it right. And like I don't understand anything. Or, I'm not familiar with it at all. So don't get scurvy. That's a funny theme.
What is it?
Don't get scurvy. Entropy. Okay, 100% on that
Weather the storm.
one. Game like one of these mobile ads. That's funny.
Outrunning the truth.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I kept that one. Tricks of the trade. The elderly, like what? That's not a theme. That's a type of person, an age. Turning west is all right. The theme is just oh no.
Hmm.
Oh no.
Ninja bounty hunter.
As well. That's funny. There's your disburden. I like that. That's cool.
What is it?
The disburden one.
Mm.
Why don't you care? I remember you saying that one too. I know most of them saying yes to are not actually going to make it through because like they're not really good teams, but they're funny and they deserve a yes.
Rise of the Weeds.
I didn't see that one yet. Crushing debt.
A Curse in Disguise.
Oh, there's a food I like.
Space Knights.
I just saw that one pretty recently. Double. That's funny too. Okay. Only about 200 left. I can do this.
I'm at 262.
Hmm. Plentiful desert. Leave a review. That's funny. B movie would be interesting too. Not like BEE movie, but like, a B movie. Bone chilling. Losing is winning, but then if you lose and therefore you win, does that mean you lose? But then that means you win, and like it's just like an infinite loop. Like equivalent exchange. Oh my goodness, pardon me, I'm yawning so much. Yikes. Actually, I like urban legends. Urban legends are fun to research. There'd be a bunch of different urban legend games.
A Slow Realization.
Ah, I don't remember seeing that one. I like that.
Devour.
Devour. I do remember seeing that one. There's your Wizards of Swords. I will say yes to that too. Unexpected physics would be really fun in a video game. It would not at all work in a tabletop game.
Inspired by a Book.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Where Did Everyone Go?
And that's funny. The beginning is the end doesn't work the way that the end is the beginning works. Like because then the game as soon as it starts is over because the beginning is the end. Like it doesn't. I don't get that. I've seen like only one or only two or whatever, but only five is so many. Like there's a lot. Yeah, there's your UR NPC. That's funny. And a fracture.
There's your Space Olympics.
Yes. There's the creature hunting. Just stay still. That's funny. And there's suck my tongue. Yeah. And yeah, I will upvote the next generation so I can try to finish that game.
Quadrobics. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
The like next generation, I was saying yes to that one for that game.
Often shorted quads is the sport. Yes, a real sport of walking, trotting, running, cantering, and jumping on all fours.
Oh, weird. Oranges aren't bananas.
I've seen frog more than once too.
Weird.
And cozy spooky.
I've only seen that the once.
It might just be because sometimes I click on something and change my mind, so then maybe it reshuffles something or.
Okay, I was curious because this says against the swell. And it's like that's a weird collection of words, so that must be something. But like when I click that, it just says it's a black and white photo of a smooth rock set against a rippled sand dune.
Mm. Playing against the game.
I like that as like I like that as a video game. I don't know how to do that as a tabletop.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Contrarian.
Unless like somebody is controlling the game, and then in that case, you're it's a two-player required thing, and we're cutting out so many of the people
Right.
that are playing this. 128 by 80 pixels. That's totally not a thing for a tabletop game. Oh, okay. Transmigration, also known as reincarnation or rebirth, is the idea that a living being's non physical essence moves into a new physical body after death. I did not know that had another name. There's the where did everybody go? Everyone go. That's funny. Summer Twist. It's like the third or fourth chain reaction I've seen, I swear. I hate my job. Okay. Yes, there we go. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Hmm.
Monty Python reference. Automatic gets a yes. I was imagining a bunch of people like having some random thing happening partway through the game.
Hobby horsing, floating Shrek is key.
Yeah, I thought that was the weirdest freaking thing ever. $15 left. Woo. Rise of the Weeds is totally our backyard and our front yard and side yard. Yay, I got through it all. Boom.
Way to go.
Thank you. Kept 161. I wrote like 21 of them down. Yeah, 21 is how many I wrote down.
I am on the remaining 61.
Way to go. I literally wrote down one idea besides the one he told me about the each of a set of cards, and it was the like panic bookmark slash like postcard bingo for Halloween. That's all I got out of this. Like I am quite shocked.
There are a few that seem interesting, but yeah, there's nothing that was just like, oh, that's inspiring all these ideas like they usually do.
Exactly. I gotta see if I can find my other.
Kind of like, hey, I could work with this, but your turn to roll. I don't know.
Yeah, I kicked that one just because it's like okay, that's totally a tabletop thing. Like yeah, here's my notes from Ludum Dare 55, which is the Ludum Dare before this, and it's like so these were just fun themes from Theme Slaughter. Like there are like what 20 something of those now. Yeah, I wrote down like 24 of those, but then beyond that, I had written a lot of them down with ideas, and there were 33 of those, just like straight up like 32 game like just themes with like ideas that I came up with or like whatever like just a simple idea, and then like the 15 that ended up with we had written down a bunch of ideas for those too. So it's like yeah, we had like 45 ideas
Wow.
for the themes, and then the other like 20 something with just like themes we liked. But
All right, I got through two. It kept 80.
nice. Nice. So you only kept half of what I kept. I wish that they would show you because like the next thing, probably starting tomorrow, honestly, will be the actual voting rounds. And I wish they'd show you which ones you actually voted like yes on because they don't. And so there's no way to know unless you actually write them all down, which I'd never do. Like that would be way too much. But so yeah, for anybody still watching, the next parts of Ludum Dare, they're gonna go through the like 1,600 themes that we had today. They're gonna pick the top like 45 or 60 of them, and like 10 or 15 at a time, you'll vote. You'll get to put either like a +1, a 0, or a -1 on each of them, and you get to click on those. And then they do that for like 3 or 4 days in a row. And then I think there's a day break, but I could be wrong. And then they take the top like 10 or 15 of those days polls and put them in the very final one. Whichever one of those gets the most +1, but like the most points basically becomes the winning theme. It's announced at the beginning of Ludum Dare, which is 6 p.m. Eastern time on Friday. So like a week from tomorrow is when it would start. And then everybody has 3 days in the game for the jam, or 2 days for the combo. There is also an extra version now, where I think you have like a whole month to make it. And then after that, we rate them. So next week, what we're going to do on our stream is go through the top ones. I can show you kind of here what that looks like from our Patreon. I like to write about Ludum Dare a lot because I really like Ludum Dare. So if I just search for Ludum Dare on our Patreon here, we'll get this was the kind of like a post-mortem from the last one. That's the theme slaughter. Let's see here. I think this one shows it. Yeah, okay, so here I went over it and posted it. So it was like the theme slaughter, and then I kind of explain how that works. And then I had all my notes with me, and then this is how theme voting works. So like this time there were 45 ones. There we -1, 0, +1 each, and then at the end you have one of these. This is the final voting right here. So like these were the final 15 themes, and the one that had the most won, which in this case was which one even was that? Well, under 54 was looking into the next time. 54 was Space No One Can Hear. The theme for that was I'll have to look at the top 15 out and try to figure it out. It was limited space. So that was out like a ship. It's kind of falling apart, and you're getting more and more limited space on your ship. So yeah, that's it. Also worth mentioning too, I forgot. Of course, I just completely ripped this off my hand. I'll just hold it. So if you go on itch, the last one we made, I don't have to go to itch and go to summon. The summon, those are the game was called. If you do this on, I guess I'm gonna show it. Jam's over. But when you put the game up on itch from Ludum Dare, there's actually like a special like tag you give it, and then all of the games from that Ludum Dare are put up together, so they all like kind of link to each other and stuff. It's really easy to find other Ludum Dare games during Ludum Dare on itch, and you get this little like special thingy on there from it. But yeah, it's not on there right now. So, but yeah, it's really fun. Ludum Dare. It's really cool. If anybody else wants to do Ludum Dare, I'd love for you to be around and do it. Be chatting about it on our Discord server, which I'll share the links to that here again.
Yeah, I've always liked the things you've come up with. All of them have been fun.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really cool, and it's really nice because you only have 3 days to do it. I know that it's not easy to necessarily have that time to work, especially it's like an actual 72. Like you don't have 3 days to make a game. You have from this time to this time. It's a 72-hour window. You've got to sleep during that time. You got to eat during that time. Whatever else too. Um, if you do it, I highly recommend you actually sleep. Like don't kill yourself by like not sleeping and not eating and not showering and all. Like it's still important to live your life because otherwise you will burn out like crazy and it's
Well,
not.
and it gives you thinking time to kind of tweak what you've been messing with
Yeah.
anyway, like, and then just resting from something and coming back at it like helps a lot too. Because
Right.
there's
And if
times where we thought we were totally stuck
mhm,
and like weren't loving what was going on, and it's just like, okay, let's rethink this, start over, and it really worked out.
yeah. And especially if you're not making a video game, you don't have to worry about coding and everything. Like, because when I did the video games, yeah, that was awful. In fact, there were times where I'd be so tired to go to sleep for like 3 hours or whatever because I didn't believe in self care at the time. Like, you wake up and it just works all of a sudden for some reason, even though it's giving you all kinds of massive issues before because computers are stupid. But like, yeah, if you come at something with a rested mind or like a new mind, like you like Angel said, you take some time off or whatever, and you come back to it, have a new point of view on it, and it's like, okay, hey, like now I know how to solve this. So yeah, like the first thing we do when the theme comes up is we go for a walk, so that like because I'll feel stressed if I'm sitting at my computer. I'm like, I should be working. Why am I not making something right now? But if we're walking, it's like I'm on my computer. We can't make something, so we just walk and we talk about potential ideas. We'll take notes, and then we get back, kind of like run with the one that makes us the happiest. Usually, we don't even start until the next day because then that kind of gives me more time to think overnight. We're not stressed about doing it right away, things like that. So, um, but yeah, if you join that Discord server that's been going across the bottom there, we'll be talking about Ludum Dare. I'll make a lot of their channel even so people don't get like they can mute it in case they don't want to see my stuff about Ludum Dare. Um, but yeah, did you have anything to add, Angel, before we take off?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
I had fun being able to do the theme slaughter this time too, since I signed up
Yay.
on
Yeah, and you'll get to do the
Let 'em
theme
Know.
voting too. Also, that's a
Cool.
good point. If anybody signs up for Ludum Dare, I think you have to enter a code to get in. And if you need that, like, let me know because I think I can find it. But you can also vote on other things, so you can try to help your themes happen. They're usually there's amazing because there's usually like 2,200 or something games that are made in this like single weekend. So like it's really amazing, and the winning games are so good. Like you'd never guess that these things were made in 2 or 3 days. Like they're amazing experiences, and even the ones that don't win, I've seen a lot of them that are just like they're really cool little things, like they're little experiments in gaming or whatever, and it's just really cool to see what people try out. And I mean, if you don't make anything cool, it took you a weekend, like whatever.
I remember that harvest one where there was like this kind of a plow and you just like ripping through the like field and like tearing down corn, but it was just funny because you're like spinning out and like it was just this really wild plow and like it was just funny to play. So there's a lot of creative silly stuff that happens.
Yeah, I remember that you played some of those too. Like you were also playing them on your computer because we actually streamed the games we were playing, and we'll do that again this year too, unless it starts spiraling again. But like that's the plan at least is to stream more of these. It's really fun to kind of like play people's games and actually show them off. And it was really neat too because people would actually join and be like, "Hey, that's my game," and it's yeah, that's awesome.
I love that. Or they're like, hey, play our game.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like the small creators really don't get to see their stuff. Like I mean, I know we're a tiny little channel. Like it's like a couple people watching, but like it's still cool to like kind of showcase other people's work and like have them watch. Like especially video games and tabletop games too. Like it's really helpful to see someone else play the game. Like like how could I make my game better? Like oh you got confused at this
Well,
point. Or,
right. And they work their butt off on that for 3 days, like to just see, like,
yeah,
hey, someone actually played it and they're enjoying it, is
right.
just something that is nice for them anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Everybody likes to have that instant feedback of like, wow, someone's checking that out and having a
Mhm.
positive experience.
Yeah, and the last lot on there we made this game, The Summoned here, which was it's a collection of 13 solo dice games that you play. Like this is the game sheet, and there's a second one So you have like two big old scoring sheets, and then there's a bunch of pages, and they have narrative to them. And like, I could not believe we got as much done as we did for that one. I think it's like a 17 or 20
Yeah,
page.
that was a lot.
Yeah, I went to proof it. We played all the games multiple times to like get them into the best place they can be in. Like we've only got two games we charge $5 for. Everything we charge for like 3, 2, or 1 on, but we actually are charging 5 on this one. So like, because we're so happy with how it turned out. But, um, but yeah, I guess we'll take off and we'll see you next week for going over the top 15 themes and then Ludum Dare after that. So have a great night.
Yes. Good night.